Good evening from New York. I'm your personal mystic, trying to show you that you are your best mystic. Yeah. My subject today is ways in which I find inner mind communication training might be better and safer than other approaches. Well, in my experience, I have found, and I've had, you know, uh, a version of primal therapy, and I was looking to be this better person, you know. And I've already talked about that before, how the religions kind of failed me in many ways. And I've, as a child, had some counseling forced upon me, which I regret to this day. And I've also took a look at a number of primal therapy approaches, some of which I think are much better than others. The Genovian would be my choice. And that's the only approach other than my own that did me any good. And it helped me, just physiologically. In 2 weeks, I went from skin and bones and, eating like a horse to a state where I was a normal weight. And that was just part of my experiences, and the other parts were just being a warmer, more approachable sort of human being. And there was, after sessions, I would notice that the female gender was more attracted to me. That was when I was young. Everybody's attracted when they're young. But yeah, it was an awesome experience. It was just the best. And as I grew, I was in a spirit-filled group, and that's where I met this influence in my life that I interpreted later as something amazing, really. It's hard to put into words. We were trying to hear Jesus, so, yeah. Not so sure that was accomplished. But there was paranormal things that happened that were pretty amazing. And some big life changes for people who go through what we were inspired to share. And it became a practice, so people could do it for themselves. how do I find this safer? Well, for one thing, there's the stigma of going to, some of these other people. That's totally undeserved, but nevertheless. And there's also the fact that someone else is trying to probe into you and to tell and try to tell you why you do things and how to fix it. And I think that's kind of clumsy. It invites people into your life and into parts of you that probably only you should be safe to share that with. I mean, people are not all that trustworthy. You were as sick as your what, wise? Perhaps. I've heard sick as your secrets. You're kidding me. Governments have secrets. And our privacy is constantly invaded all the time by all kinds of sometimes well-meaning people. But I think we all deserve a little privacy. And I think that the world, as we found out, you go online, you're going to find lots of negative influences, which are hurting our children, and because there's a little too much sharing. And but you think about this general state that human beings are in. How trustworthy is that? People for various reasons will turn on a friend, divorce the love of their life, etc. So, who better to trust than yourself? And you can get loving communication from a lot of people and apply that within your inner mind communication. Boom, boom, boom. So you've got the sensitivity that you're absorbing and applying it within yourself, which has to happen anyway. And if someone else is doing it while you're sharing, then, bless their nosy hearts. But they don't need to know everything about you. Yeah, they don't. I don't know anybody perfect enough that I'd want to share everything in my life with altogether. Although I tend to share a lot of negative things about myself. But it's my choice. And I'm not being probed. Yeah. So, I just really love the approach where you're helping yourself, and it doesn't mean you're all alone in it. You're absorbing from communications all around you and opening yourself up to empathetic communication with others who you find safe. And so, why are you going to pay big bucks for someone to do that for you, and in your most innermost self? The person you can trust in your most innermost self is you, in most cases. Now, there are people who have real diseases, like neurological, chemical, and whatever. Yeah. But go to a psychiatrist or a neurologist, I think. You know, it's like, oh, the counselor, oh, my preacher, my counselor, guide me in my life, you know. You talk to them and they can't even give you a statement without going, I'll have to go and ask my minister, or I'll have to go and ask my therapist, ooh, and see what they say. Really? Have some gumption. You know, so, no. You know, you're wonderful inside, you know. Find that wonder for yourself. You know, apply these things of inner mind communication and do it in a reasonable way. And by golly, I think you'll find progress. You know, these practices that that are packaged together as inner communion. Inner communion, well, it is that too. The inner mind communication. Wow. These are things that are safe and have been done around the world separately in various camps. What I've done is put it, what I was inspired to do is put all of them together, and wow, in a very special way that I was inspired to do. You know, I can remember in this one spiritual group, there was a fellow that they would supposedly had psychological issues, and they would take him to that psychiatrist or whatever he was seeing, and they'd say he would just fall apart, you know, just dysfunctional, and they were, wow. And through a very, you know, internal kind of experience, which is what the spirit-filled thing is about. It's a kind of mystic path. And through that, he became a counselor in that group. He was calm. He was together, and he was functioning a lot better. So they decided, well, that wasn't the answer for him. And, you know, I've run into psychologists who, you know, they couldn't think their way out of a barn door with the barn door open. And, you know, so sorry, I don't automatically think someone is, you know, deserving of the titles thrown at them. Yeah. One bizarre case that I remember was a fellow that kept talking about energies. So, well, what are you talking about? The dopamine studies that they've done? And, you know, oh, all kinds of things are released. Evidently, yeah, he don't know what he's talking about. Well, can you define energies for me? He says, oh, you sound like my brother. I says, who's your brother? Well, he's a physicist. And then he goes and says, not just a physicist can use the word energies. I'm thinking, they might be the best people, hello? You know, and I'm not, you know, promoting a religious style necessarily of mysticism, although mystics have been religious. I see that as a bit of a unnecessary load to bear. Yeah. It's just, you have within yourself all of the perspectives that you need. and you just have to use them and use it to love yourself. It's, Arthur Janoff, the founder of Primal Therapy, said that, don't expect me to love you. He was all about tearing down the symbols, the symbolic representations of real need in people, so that they would feel the original need that was traumatized, that they were helpless to get met, whether to run away or long-term kind of complex PTSD. Basic developmental needs were blocked, and the circumstances and the needs involved become symbolized, and he just gently tears away at them, which I find to be a little bit of contradiction in terms. My father said once that the thing that comforted him most when he lost a dear friend, a lady friend, was not when people were telling him, "Oh, she's in heaven, she's in a better place now," all of that, but just one lady touching his shoulder and saying, "I'm sorry." Boom. Compassionate empathy. Thank you. That made him feel a lot better. Well, I say, do love yourself. Do embrace love. And just do it from different perspectives. That way, the fake needs, things not really based on the reality of what happened to you, will be shaken and slowly disperse. And as you do with this process, you not only get to be more emotionally healthy, but you get into areas of self-transcendence, which can help you with dealing with the issue of death, getting older, things like that. Yeah. And I find it very interesting that some of the stories you hear, from children who have had, under the impression they've had a past life, when they talk about coming into this world or leaving and coming here again, there's parallels of that with near-death experiences. There's often a light involved and a great deal of comfort and a sense of a different kind of time. That's different perception of time. So, if that's the perspective you can take in inner mind communication, mind distribution, when you take the role of the artist within you. And that can be very transformative. And it does help with your health. I would say, just on a conservative level, that the practice can be as helpful as diet and exercise. Either one, separately. And those two things combined with this approach can be amazing for your health. And I would say for people going through serious health issues, that this could be a big help to healing. I'm convinced of it from my experiences. Eli, and what I've seen for others, and what research Arthur Jenoff did, um, which I have no reason to doubt, um, and which mirrors the association of ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences, and predictable health concerns later, which Arthur Janoff mentioned long ago. Now, he, like me, was a bit of a rebel, and so am I. He was a revolutionary, so am I. And what I have to offer is amazing. You wouldn't think so, looking at this old, worn-out face, but there's still a little light left in there. And I'm trying to share it with you. And yeah, so that's why I find the ways in which I find this process to be superior to things out there for most people. And like I say, you want to get a checkup with a psychiatrist or a neurologist, well, go ahead. And if it can be tiring, just like exercise. So you want to, be in general good health, or you need to do it lightly. But there's lighter efforts. There's lighter things, practices. There's 6 practices. Some of them are lighter, some of them get a little heavier. And so, you can work at your own pace and do what's, the things that work for you, tailored to you, by you. Who knows better what makes you feel comfortable? Nobody but you. Not really. So, in giving your agency of change, personal change and growth, completely to someone else? Are you kidding me? You're either, the whole process of becoming emotionally healthier and spiritually healthier is overcoming helplessness and empowering yourself. But giving it all over to a guru or a preacher or a therapist, please. Not a good idea. Maybe for some people these types can help them feel comfortable and to do this inner mind communication. Okay, fine. But the whole purpose is not to be having to go back to that person again and again and again, but to get on your own 2 feet. That's the deal. And for those who are legless, bless your hearts, and I'm sorry. It's just a figure of speech. To get to your most functional state. Let's do it that way. Yeah. So we are variously enabled, and no disability should make you feel like you are a disability, or that that disability defines you. This process will make sure that you understand that. So if you have a physical disability or a disability with sight or sound or whatever it is, Um, you know, some version of this system will help you to understand that you are far more than anything anybody tries to label you with. Far more. And a wonder walking. And without knowing that and feeling that in your bones, you're shortchanging yourself. You know, it's like someone does something wrong, then they're a criminal. Really? No, they're a person who did something wrong. you know, quit labeling people with these negative things. It's like, you did. Be open to the wonder and the complexity and the journey of that within yourself to find all of these amazing abilities that you have to communicate in various ways, physically within yourself and mentally, and how to apply that outside yourself. Wow, you can do this. You can do this. And I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. And, you want to go on Zoom, get in touch with me, We can do this. You can be more appreciative of the great person you are beyond all the labels. No label can hold you. No label can tell you who you are. Yeah, you could call the universe, and now we found out it's a multiverse. And, yeah, does that name sum it up? Is it, or does it cloud the wonder? Yeah. It's a useful term, like your name, but still not what the universe is, and it's still not who you are. You are more than that universe, the total cosmos, the multiverse, or whatever there is out there. It is certainly more mysterious and wonderful than breathtaking, and maybe frightening than we can possibly grasp. It's in the Bhagavad Gita. It gets to a point where he that whole story is a mystic encounter of a mystic communication. Where Krishna is teaching Arjuna in a chariot in the middle of a war that's about to begin. And fascinating. This is a little different than the one the versions that I've used before. But maybe I can find it for you. Oh, there we go. No. That's not it. Let's see. That's beautiful too. Beautiful verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Very highly recommended. Yeah. Of course, it's a person listening to a person relating this conversation. And let's see, conclusion. Wow. Let's see. You know, these glasses don't work. Trifocals. Let's see. Well, that's a beautiful statement. Let's see. God discloses his nature is gracious and loving. Well, these glasses in this book, they're just not working too well for me. You take my word for it. Arjuna asked to see Krishna, which would be the artist in you, that part of you that is one with your entire wonderment, your inner universe. He wants to see, like you will begin to see the artist in you with this process. He asked to see Krishna, would be in the role of the artist. Arjuna in the role of what I call, the kid, the dramatic self. And he asked the artist to show him, beyond just a personification, the whole full nature of the absolute truth. And he's so blown away. and sees amazing things, and it's too much for him, and so he goes, he asks him, wow, that please show your more comforting form again. So the personification of the artist returns, and it's, Arjuna's mind is completely blown. You can have this kind of experience that you hear about in the Bhagavad Gita, right? You can have that, and it, don't go and spend a whole lot of money. You want to have a Zoom with me? We can do this. I will help you. There's only one of me, so the one thing I expect from people that I train is that they will become trainers and help others, or at least have a really great life and tell me about it. So that's what I've got to say today. I'm just, as the Buddha said himself, I'm just an ordinary fellow. And that's the key thing, If I hear it from an ordinary fellow, I know I can achieve it too, right? So you can. And it's really worth the trip. there's a place of just mind-blowing bliss in the presence of your artist. It's wow. And a sense of time transcended. And it was then that this personification of the artist would tell me things about people, speak through me, and I got really tired of that. I think that it sets up dependencies, and so I complained about it. And, I was given this inspiration and this way to have people do that for themselves. Take the journey. You can do this, okay? Don't let anybody tell you who you are. And remember, these are people who are telling themselves who they are. So remind them they shouldn't either. First thing you see when you meet somebody, and I've heard this how many times? I heard this from, was it, yeah, Ron Stewart, the comedian? I think it was him. When you meet an individual, or maybe it was George Carlin, one of the two, said that when they met someone just person to person, that there's this wonder and this ability to relate so great. You know, it's when it's the groups that gather together, where there seems to be this tribalism and this nonsense. Yeah. So, the artist is inside you. If you want to have a picture of Jesus or Buddha or whatever you want in a devotional setting, that has been useful to some. If you want to visualize, help you with your personification of the absolute truth, the transcendent reality, okay, you can do that. Do try to learn the 6 approaches that I talk about. And like I say, I'm willing to help. What else am I going to do? If I fade away here in later years. It's the duty of elders to share what the gifts that they've been given. Yeah. And it's good for society. So if you're an elder, don't run away to Florida. People need you. Yeah. You can go down there for a little while. Or go down there and help others like yourself, I suppose. But there's a crying need for elders in this world. And you are, perhaps it's easier for those who are elders to fully enter into this process. But a little bit of energy is helpful too. The young men will see visions, and the old men dream dreams. Whichever way works for you. Is at the end of the day, You are a wonderment walking. Never forget it. Never let anybody limit you with a name, even your own. Never. You are more than that. Name and form. Buddhists talk about transcending that. It's important that you do. Anyway, as I like to say at the end of my expressions, and yeah, you might find someone in the field of psychology who practices and could train in this. Yeah, then that's okay. But they are not someone who would be trying to probe into your personal life and play all of these roles for you. Beware of that. Anyway, and many do. So, you take advantage too sometimes, because it's such an intimate situation, you know. There's a lot of strong feelings in the training. Beware of that. Anyway, I like to say namaste at the end, which is a way of honoring from the wonder in me beyond all name and form to the wonder in you. Namaste, and have a wonderful evening and rest of next day if you're in my time zone. And have a wonderful life.